Money!
What Your Bank Doesn't Tell You, a podcast by UMushroom.
Hello everybody and welcome to our second podcast. I'm Luba.
Hi everybody, my name is Tonia. Today we are speaking about how you get started in respect to investing.
And we're going to also say how to make your life easier, right?
Absolutely, because it was the same for us. And when we talk to our friends, basically everybody is telling us that investing is painful, investing is not interesting. And the most common argument was, I don't have time for investing. But we figured that this is kind of an excuse, and not having time is usually the consequence of not being served the right information in an entertaining way.
It's true, and what we figured out also is that those folks who say I don't have time actually gladly spend 10, 15, 20 minutes on Instagram, Facebook and all the other social media platforms. And there is a reason for that. Everything is in pictures, everything is funny, everything is lively. And that's not how it is currently in finance, before UMushroom, of course.
And this was basically one of the main drivers when we founded UMushroom, that we present finance exactly in the way how we would consume it. So it should be interesting, it should be entertaining, it should be easy to grasp information and just fun, as you say, absolutely. And this is possible. We have spent the past 25 years in finance, and we know that it's actually a very interesting topic. Yeah. But how it's delivered so far,
it's boring.
It's completely boring, even to us as experts.
That's actually, well, that's a very valid point you're raising. And what we figured out is in current times, people have a very short attention span. We are in the time of the TikToks where you actually have to understand something within 30 seconds. Otherwise, you skip it or you swipe it or whatever we do those days on the platforms. And we figured out that there is a way how we can present the story of each investment, of each stock, each fund, each ETF, in such a way that you're within these 30 seconds.
Yes, and this grasping of information, that's one aspect, and we truly believe this can be done in a better way. But the second argument or excuse of many people is as well, what happens if I lose, or what should I do with the money? So there is also the question in the air, how to cope with money, and to understand how, on one side, money can bring you more money, but then also what you can impact with your money. And this is also a very important aspect to understand, in my opinion. And this is one big topic in the end we are going to elaborate here, of course, in this podcast, but also in our UMushroom University.
Absolutely. And you're raising a very important point. We've been always discussing, people are actually kind of really avoid to deal with the topic of money. And it's a very important resource. And if you basically don't consciously take a decision what to do with it, someone else is going to take a decision for you. And being the bank, being the state, and at the end of the day, we keep post factum getting angry about the press, writing of, oh my God, these bankers are abusive, etc., etc. But we don't have to forget that we are actually the ones who are giving the resources to a bank, to a broker. If we delegate the responsibility, we kind of have to live with the outcome. And what we want to do is, in our podcast and generally to inspire people to actually take back this responsibility. It's their resource. They should be the ones who are deciding over it.
But for this, it's also important to know what are your very personal values. What do you want to achieve with your money? And in the ideal case, you invest your money in businesses, in sectors, in companies which really reflect products or values, but match with your own values and maybe consumption style. And with the money you invest in these companies, you also have the opportunity to give them more resources to shape and eventually to shape the world you want to live in.
Yes, and this is a very, very, very important point which we keep saying over and over again, and we keep discussing about what's happening currently with the world. We keep discussing about the global warming, about the big changes in the environment. And well, guess what? Money is one way to put the resources in the desired outcome. Another aspect which is very important, and that's particularly for the younger generation. I mean, we know that our parents in Central Europe used to get actually decent retirement packages. Our generation's questionable whether we'll get something like that. And the generation which is coming after us, so the young generation in our team, for example, the around 30s, sorry. I mean, there is a big question mark if they're ever going to see a retirement package, given how money is managed.
Absolutely. I mean, the systems, they are kind of edging at a certain point, and it's, as you say, it's a big question mark to what extent we get the same pension and retirement life as our parents or maybe grandparents did. And for this reason, we strongly believe it's important to invest. And as we said, it's also important to invest according to your values. And when we get more into the spiritual or psychological angle of investing again, then we are convinced when you invest with your heart according to your values, then also the money which is flowing back to you will be increased.
Yes, and that's a beautiful aspect you're mentioning, invest with your heart. Our industry, the way we know it, from where we come from, is actually kind of soulless in a way, because it's very focused on the technicalities, it's very dry, it kind of lacks life. And what we want to do is we want to give a soul to money, to present it in a neutral way, to show you that it doesn't have to be, and now we come back again to the topic what people associate with investing and money. And we mentioned the lack of time, we also mentioned the fact that it's boring. But guess what? A lot of people actually avoid the topic because they associate it with something bad. Historically, money is associated with wars, it's associated with robbery, with crime even. And there is this saying in a lot of cultures, a rich person is not an honest person. Well, in the times of modern technology, actually that does not have to be the case. And a rich person can be an honest person, and most of them are of the younger generation. And what we want to inspire you is basically to also look into this aspect. To giving soul back to money would imply also getting a different image of money, right?
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more with you, and here we are in the middle of what the bank doesn't tell you. And also I wanted to add to a previous comment of yours, the bank also doesn't tell you that when they are selling you something, that there are plenty of interests behind as well. So it increases even the importance that you are really investing according to your very personal values, and we will help you with that. So we will help you to understand money. Also, as Luba said, the soul behind money. We will explain you and guide you how you can invest according to your values. And then, of course, we also start investing together, which is really exciting.
Indeed. And yes, I mean, basically education is important on this journey. And we figured out that knowledge is power. And all this knowledge which we've collected over the last 20 years, both you 20, me 20, so in total about 40 years, we're going to give that back to you because we strongly believe that knowledgeable people actually are powerful people. And yeah, that's where the journey starts.
Happy to share with you all the secrets and experience of our banking history in this sense.
Absolutely.
Perfect. I think this is it for today. We wish you a lovely day and looking forward to the next episode. Bye.
Money! What Your Bank Doesn't Tell You, a podcast by UMushroom.